because a man lacks the use of his eyes doesn't mean he lacks vision. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we zoom on the wheel, they soon become inevitable.
What's up guys? My name is Polixran Giavoli Jr.
And I'm GNG Piñeros. And welcome to our YouTube channel.
The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act is a piece of American legislation that ensures students with a disability are provided with free appropriate public education that is tailored to their individual needs. IDEA was previously known as the Educational for All Handicapped Children Act from 1975 to 1990. The idea includes 13 disability categories, namely deaf-blindness, deafness, emotional disturbance, hearing impairment, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairments, other health impairments, specific learning disabilities, speech and language impairments, traumatic brain injury, visual impairment, and autism. But the category that we are going to discuss is all about deaf-blindness. So, what is deaf-blindness?
Deaf-blindness. Deaf-blindness refers to a child with both hearing and visual disabilities.
When we say hearing disabilities, it is defined as a hearing impairment that is so severe that the child is impaired in processing linguistic information through hearing, with or without amplification. Thus, deafness may be viewed as a condition that prevents an individual from receiving sound in all or most of its forms. When we say visual disability, it is also known as a vision impairment or vision loss. It is a decreased ability to see to a degree that causes problems not fixable by usual means.
The Individual with Disabilities Education Act, or the IDEA, officially defines the term as concomitant hearing and visual impairments, the combination of which causes such severe communication and other developmental and educational needs that they cannot be accommodated in special education programs solely for children with deafness or children with blindness. According to the National Dissemination Center for Children with Disabilities, or the NICHCY, deaf-blindness does not necessarily mean complete losses. NICHCY's fact on the disability category states, the word deaf-blindness may seem as if a person cannot hear or see at all. The term actually describes a person who has some degree of loss in both vision and hearing. The amount of loss in either vision or hearing vary from person to person.
Symptoms of deaf-blindness. A person who's deaf-blind won't usually be totally deaf and totally blind, but most senses will be reduced enough to cause difficulties with everyday activities. Signs of a hearing problem. Hearing loss can occur from birth or may develop gradually or suddenly later on. Signs that someone may have a problem with their hearing include not hearing you if you speak to them from behind, needing to turn up the volume on their television or radio, asking others to speak loudly, slowly, and more clearly, leaning in very close to hear what's being said. Signs of a vision problem. Vision loss can also be present from birth or develop later on. Signs that someone may have a problem with their vision include problems seeing in low light or bright light, difficulty recognizing people they know, relying on touch to find and identify items more than usual, not looking directly at you or making proper eye contact. So it's best to seek advice as soon as possible, as treatment for some underlying causes of deaf-blindness can be more effective if started early. The American Association of the Deaf-Blind notes that about half of individuals with deaf-blindness in the United States have a genetic condition called Usher syndrome. In these cases, a child will be born deaf, hard of hearing or with normal hearing. Eventually, however, he or she loses both vision and hearing.
And now, we will be explaining of educational challenges and tips for teachers and parents for handling for deaf-blindness students. So first is educational challenges. Educational challenges is needs of a child with a deaf-blindness are unique. Teachers without specific training in the area of deaf-blindness may be unable of specialized to deaf-blindness opportunity program to meet their needs with specialized training support. For few school districts has even teachers in this kind of specialized knowledge. So mag-need ang isa ka students for means competent or simultaneous hearing or visual impairments because there was course just as serve communication and development. Nag-program sila para mag-support sa specialized education. Tips of teachers and parents for disabled students. So, teachers overcoming or over-mentioned educational challenges is entails knowing your students' individual abilities that your students passes enough through to use your students of a sign language or read lips will large print or textbook or does the student's head using braille. So, individual abilities ang isa ka students or teachers to teach how to use sign language of loose hearing the children with deaf-blindness or children with deafness. And then, parents Oklahoma's State's Department of Education emphasize the power of touch to touch individual can learn and gain perspective on different objects. So, individual students will be emphasize the power to or touch individual perfect step or you can use different object and then also we will use touch codes to enhance your children's of academic pursuit. Touch codes involve of academic funding your children is a consistent of effectively communicate for instance of part of the shoulders with your son or your daughter knows God go job. So pwede po mo enhance with the child academic consist na effectively ang bisag gunit na sa atong shoulder makabalo of different object. Then tips sa mga teachers o students or parents na to, we can teach to sign language or different object, image, pwede po na to gamitan sa tong different nga sign, kay bali, tongue, lips, hands, or face na to nga anybody na makabalo or sharing such with your child, teacher should be consist or assess to improving communicate in the classroom.